Matt Lenihan, Boxing Social in association with Forged Irish Stout, Empire Fight Store, freebets.com. We're here. Peter Fury. Peter, how are we, mate?
Good. I'm just enjoying these weigh-ins. It looks some good fights on this bill.
What do you make of the main event? Abass, Baraou, Sam Eggington. We know what Sam's all about. Big opportunity for Abass here to show what he's made of. Good fight.
Yeah, I'm hearing good things about the kid. I don't know much about him. I haven't seen him, but everybody's saying he's a good fighter. So we know what Sam is. Yeah. But Sam's in a good place and Sam's ready. So you can't never dismiss Sam.
100%. Look, let's do a 360 from the boxing at the minute. I want to talk about, you've got a new podcast coming out, I think Boxing Now, where you're going to have guests on, not specifically talking about boxing, just sort of people from everyday life. You're going to have, basically it's just a casual chat. You're looking forward to that, something a little bit different?
I think most of it will be around boxing, and we'll get some some good personalities in boxing in the past and present on. So it's gonna be interesting. Definitely be a good podcast and good for good causes as well.
Yeah, 100%. You're doing that in aid of a couple of charities. Do you want to just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I've got charities which are directly connected to myself from my own experiences. Motor neuron disease. My father passed away with that, so definitely trying to do as well as get that mentioned as much as possible. Dementia as one of them, and the other one is for boxing as well. For boxing across all types of stuff. So we're going to have some interesting people coming on about the boxing side, for what they're doing already and all of these type of things. So it'll be very good.
Well, 100%. Well, for our listeners and watchers, give that a watch. Right, let's talk about the boxing. I know you've had a few interviews. I'm trying to do these in a little bit of a different order. James Dean Fury. Talk to me about his progress. I saw your interview with Ake the other day, and how's he coming along? And when can we expect to see him?
Yeah, he's young, and all it is just getting him out and getting him as many amateur fights as possible. The route for him is to turn professional when he's 20. For now, when he's in his amateur, it's all about going through experiences, and things like this, up and downs. But he's doing well. He's a good young talent. So exciting things for him.
Adapting well, enjoying that environment, obviously mixing it in with the pros and coming on camp, obviously with yourself, obviously Matty Harris, who you've just we'll come on to him in a minute, but he's adapting well, and it's a good experience for him having him around.
Listen, he's adapting well, and he's having some hard spars as well. So he's some of the spars he doesn't get his own way with. He's he'll spar like say Gradus Kraus over in Holland, who's qualifying for the Olympics at the minute. So he's learning the hard way. He's taking the hard knocks. So he's so far so good with him. I think he'll be a phenomenal young fighter when he turns over.
Any update on Hughie? I know everyone's sort of eager to see when he's coming back, and I know it's probably just as frustrating as you getting asked to buy, because it's sort of always there in the background, but we're going to get to see him soon? Yeah,
definitely. We're expecting announcements very, very soon with Hughie. I think we're almost getting there to an announcement, so so far so good.
In a week or so?
I'll definitely say so, definitely within 2 weeks.
What type of opponent are we expecting for you, Hughie? He's obviously mixed it in at the top level and got the experience. I know he's been out a while, but where are we looking in terms of levels?
We're just looking at probably an 8-rounder to get him back, and somebody that's durable. So we'll get him a solid journeyman, because he's been out 2.5 years, and then within 4 weeks we're looking to get him out again.
Brilliant. Right, let's talk about the man of the moment, who's obviously just recently, not to say recently, it's your first fight with him, but he's joined your stable in Matty Harris. Learned the hard way sort of early on in his career, but he bounced back. It's boxing, you take your defeats, you come again. How has he adapted to your way of training, physically, mentally? How has he been to be around, kind of thing? How's he coped in these training camps with you?
He's coping good. It's all about, we're not looking for vast improvements. He's still got a lot of work to do, but I'm seeing small improvements, There's little increments at the time, but he's definitely getting there. He's a phenomenal heavyweight, and I do expect him, things to click in, and when they do, he'll be a dangerous heavyweight.
When you take on a fighter, do you initially have like a meeting and get a feel for the person? Because I know you're probably not one to waste your time on someone who's just here to jump in, jump out, and not take it seriously. Do you have like an initial sit down and say, look, let's talk about this and this, and what sort of vibe did you get from him when you had that first meeting?
Well, I've known Matty. I've known Matty for 3 or 4 years now. I used to come and spar Hughie while he was an amateur. So he's always been a talent, explosive, a big heavyweight. He's got agility as well. He moves well. So he ticks all the boxes. But this is the fight game, and you got to learn. You got to learn to accept and take failure to progress. And I'm not on about in his fight that he's lost. I'm on about failure in the gym. I'm on about going to places you've not been before. I'm on about where you're not getting the better of the sparring. I'm on about where it's all seems like it's going wrong, because I want you to come to pieces to build you back up. So because that's the key here. So it's building his mental strength with his ability. So if there's a weakness there, we'll exploit it and then work on it so there's not a weakness anymore. We're just ironing out the creases. That's what we're doing.
Is that exciting for you when you have someone so young, but you see that we've seen in the fights that he's had, glimpses of that talent he's got? You mentioned their agility, obviously moving around the ring, really clever shots on the inside. Obviously, big dude, got a great power on him. But is that what excites you? The fact that you can almost try and mould him into that more of a complete, well-rounded fighter, obviously mentally as well as physically.
So what we got here, we've got a guy who's got talent. But first and foremost, can he take punishment? And how's he going to take the punishment? So that's a lot of mental strength required there. Yeah. So that's number one. Number two is boxing, seeing things where you can let your hands go, putting yourself in the correct positions to let your hands go, not loading up with your shots, wanting to knock everybody out. Earn that shot. Don't try and just because you got power, try and get greedy and take it. All of these things, there's a lot in heavyweight boxing. There's a lot in any boxing really, but especially the heavyweights. They've got to learn to relax, box, feel the way in, and work on the quality. And most importantly is the jab. For me, in all boxing, is the jab.
Is that the thing with heavyweights? Because they know they've got that lights off power, it is about saying, look, it's there. You don't necessarily need to go looking. When you hit him, you'll know, kind of thing, without loading up. Is that the hardest thing sometimes with heavyweights? Because they always seem to be keen on landing it and getting people out of there. Maybe having that bit of more of a calculated approach.
I think one of the other reasons that I've took Matty on as well, because he's a big modern day heavyweight. He's got agility, and he can box. Because let's just say we've got a 7-foot heavyweight with 2 feet like Frankenstein with 2 concrete boots on. Yeah, who's just a slugger in there. He wouldn't be with me because they ain't making it. I'm not interested in a guy who can punch them walls down. I'm interested in a guy who's got skill set and can punch. He has got it all. He's got it all, but it's going to take time. It'll take time.
Well, look, exciting times ahead, and without heaping too much pressure on him, obviously it's his first fight since his loss, and we'll see how he gets on Friday night. Let's talk about the members of the gym. You've got Savannah Marshall, had a terrific year last year, picked up all the belts. I know that meant a lot to you and her. I saw her going out there to watch Clarissa Shields fight. What are we expecting Savannah next?
I expect Savannah to do very well in the PFL. I think she will do very well. She's powerful. She's learning the grappling very good with Andy Aspinall. So it's all good. She's keeping her boxing skills going. So it's fine.
April Hunter, I know when I spoke to you, God, it must have been a while back, 2 years ago, you almost referenced it like a car, putting these pieces back together and trying to, work out how we can get her to that point, and some good performances since we spoke. How pleased are you with her, and what can we expect?
I'm very pleased for April, and she's somebody I really want to do well. Because she's had some stick off me in the gym over the years. For the last few years she's been with me, and it's not been easy. But believe me, if ever a girl's who's resilient, tough as well, and what can I say? And a lovely personality. She's a really nice girl, April is. So I really want her to do well more than anything, to be honest. So I'm really looking forward, getting her back on and getting her out there. Some good fights for her to be made. So hopefully we'll see April out very soon.
100%. Obviously some big heavyweight fights going on. I know you're interested primarily on your stable, but we'll get your opinion. Joshua goes to fight Ngannou next week. now he's got a bit of tape now on Ngannou. We didn't know what to expect before in his last fight, but we've got to see 10 rounds of him. Joshua now working under Ben Davison. What do you make of this dynamic, them two teeing off next week?
I think it's good, listen, he's young and he's fresh and he knows he's boxing, so why not? Everybody's got to start somewhere. Just because they might not be super well known or whatever, but look, results speak for themselves. Joshua looked better in his last fight, so give the lad credit. He's doing well. So I think it's a good move. Plus, it's they're down in the same areas, so why not? It's all about things have got to be easy and things has got to happen in boxing where it suits. All this going abroad to America, fucking Australia, wherever you want to go, it's searching for something when it's on your doorstep, So he's I think he's in a good place. He's got a good match, got a good team there, and listen, good things.
How do you expect him to fight against Ngannou? Do you expect him to do a good job on Francis?
Well, you'd think so because Joshua can box, so he can easily outbox him, I would imagine. So if Ngannou can take the shots, then you'd expect Joshua to outbox him in a shutout, because he looks like he can be easily outboxed, to be honest. But it's interesting because
it's madness, isn't it? Really, when you think about it, MMA first 2 fights against the top 3 heavyweights in terms of rankings.
But we know Ngannou will be very tough. But being tough and being hit with shots you can't see is a different ball game. So let's see what he's like when he does get hit properly, and he will get it. So it's interesting for that. Yeah. Is it interesting because he can win? Well, listen, if he hits Anthony Joshua, he'll know about it. But I think Anthony Joshua will realise that himself. Yeah. So I don't think he's going to come out Anthony Joshua and do a slugfest with him. No. I think he'll just pick his shots. But look, there's one thing for sure: Ngannou can be it. Yeah. He's going to get it. Let's see what he does.
Peter Fury, appreciate your time. Thanks for talking to Boxing Social. Hopefully we can catch up soon.
Anytime. You're welcome.